Good morning, everybody. I decided to go ahead and continue the Eric Clapton Crossroads Guitar Festival review series today. We're going to go ahead and continue things on with our look at the 2007 festival DVD. Now, this is probably my favorite of the DVDs. Now, unlike the 2004 DVD that we discussed yesterday, all the guitar solos and the songs are on the same track. In other words, the guitar solos aren't separated into their own tracks. They're on the same track as the song. Now, as I said, this is my favorite of the DVDs. And the lineup for this DVD is stellar. But we'll get to that in a second. The show was held in Chicago, uh, whereas the 2004 show was held in Dallas. And the MC is none other than Bill Murray of Saturday Night Live fame and movies. And this is the only bone of contention I have with the show is that you know all of Bill Murray's bits are kind of stupid and immature. Like he pretends to play guitar at several points during the show, and it's really the only bone of contention I have with this DVD. And he does MC the 2010 show, but thankfully um, he does not MC the 2013 show. Um, as I said, the lineup for the '07 show is stellar. We have some of the we have a lot of artists that have returned from the 2004 show, such as John Mayer, um, um, John Mayer, B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, um, or not Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Vaughan, sorry. And some of my favorite songs from the show are Outside Woman Blues, which is an old Cream song that Doyle Bramhall II does. And I love the set with B.B. King. He does a song called he does several blues numbers, and also a record artist that was not at the 2004 show, Johnny Winter. He does a version of Highway 61 revisited with the Derek Trucks Band, who, by the way, also appears on the show, and they do a great version of the Derek and the Dominoes song "Any Day," which Derek had been performing with Eric on the '06 and '07 tour at that point. So it was kind of not a surprise to hear Derek cover that, because I know he is a real big Derek and the Dominoes fan. And but the standout performance for me comes toward the end or another one of my favorites, and then we'll get to the standout performance. But another one of my favorites, favorite sections of the show, rather, is the set with Vince Gill, Sheryl Crow, um, Eric Clapton, and they do well. First of all, Albert Lee does one of my favorite songs, "Country Boy," and Albert Lee is one of the fastest guitar players that ever existed. And if you haven't heard him, check him out. He is fantastic. And then Cheryl does a version of one of my favorite songs of hers, If It Makes You Happy. And then they close things out with a version, she does a duet version of Tulsa Time with Eric and Vince Gill. And then Willie Nelson also performs. He does On the Road Again and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain with Cheryl. But to the standout performances. Now the standout performance for me comes on the second disc of the DVD because it's a 2-disc set. Is the reunion of Eric and Stevie Winwood, and what happened was Stevie, rather than bring his own band, Eric invited him to play with him and his band in his set. And so that's what happened. And they do some really cool stuff. They do a lot of blind faith stuff, including one of my favorite blind faith numbers, Presence of the Lord. And then they open with Tell the Truth, which at this point I had never seen done live, so I was really happy. I was really excited to see that because it's one of my favorite Dominoes numbers. And they also do not Pearly Queen, Had to Cry Today, and Dear Mr. Fantasy, and Can't Find My Way Home. And actually, this was the performance that spawned their later shows at Madison Square Garden, which we will also be covering or reviewing at some point. And really, and the show itself, and Eric closes his set with Crossroads. And the show itself closes with an all-star performance of Sweet Home Chicago. So really, it's a tremendous show, and like I said, it's probably my favorite of the Crossroads Guitar Festival shows. Coming up, probably tomorrow, we will be taking a look at the 2010 festival, which I just finished watching over the weekend, and then probably on Saturday we will be closing out the series with the 2013 festival. which takes place at Madison Square Garden. And so I hope you enjoy this, and I give it 5 stars.